The godfather of the West Coast, now you know. With Dusty Vision on the side, we ride. Taking you back to where legends came alive. From ruthless roots to the studio scene. Classic tales that the world's never seen. Every Tuesday night we spark the heat. From 6 to 7, history on repeat. So sit back, tap in, and enjoy the vibe. If you love hip-hop, like and subscribe.
I've been working. What's up with you, Dusty? How you feeling, Doc?
Oh, I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Did you play the music at the beginning?
Yeah. Oh, shit, you didn't hear it?
Nah, it's all good. As long as the audience heard it, it's all gravy.
Sure. I know why. I know exactly why you didn't. Let me set this thing up right now. Man, I'm sorry, Doc. Technically.
It's all good.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, off top, shout out to Tyree for that 555 donation. Good looking out, bro.
We all ready?
Off top.
I ain't mad at you. We ain't been on a minute yet. All right, it's going to be a good day. All right, folks, we are live with Lonzo, Godfather, West Coast Hip Hop, and my main man, Dusty Vision. Like I say every week, y'all, from the West Coast to the East Coast and everything between, folks, from Eve after dark to concerts in the park. This is how we do it, y'all. We are here. Thanksgiving is right around the corner, literally a couple of days from now. Shoot, I'm feeling a little tired, a little sick from my trip from Idaho, but I'll be all right. I'll make it through this show right quick. That's for doggone show. What you got for me, Dusty?
Yeah, you got this, man. Hey, you mentioned it off top. Thanksgiving right around the corner, so happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Thank you all for joining the show with us every single Tuesday, sometimes Wednesday, whatever the case is. We appreciate each and every one of you. Salute to the chat. Before you guys get too comfortable, make sure you hit that like button. Please, it lets the algorithm know that we exist, so do that. And if this is your first time joining the channel, you're in for a treat tonight, man. Let's jump into it right away, Lonzo. Something that I would love to discuss with you. There's a few specific things, but we're going to jump right into this specifically, something that you and I were texting about offline. Hip-hop stories on YouTube. Once again, I enjoy their channel. I enjoy their animation. I enjoy their storytelling about the days of NWA and everyone affiliated with NWA. They recently released a documentary on Laylaw, someone that Alonzo Williams knows very well. Spoke with Laylaw shortly before he passed and knew the guy probably, better than he knew a lot of people. So Lonzo texted me and, he said he had a few things to say about this documentary, but I want to start it from the part where the beginning where World Class Wrecking Crew and Alonzo are mentioned. And we're going to see how factual it is. You let me know, Lonzo. Oh, shit. Hold on 1 second. Let me get it situated. And what I want you to do, Lonzo, is you tell me when you want me to stop and pause when something, doesn't sound right or sounds a little bit off. Here it is, hip-hop stories. Go show them some love. But sometimes their stories can be a little bit off. Let's see how on this one is about Laylaw. That member, just a behind-the-scenes cap. Here we go. All right.
Rocking a Rolex. And in 1984, Laylaw became one of the first in the area rocking a Rolex. And in 1985, he turned that symbol into a name, founding Rolex Records to record his first solo tracks.
So far, so good, right, Lonzo? That sounds is that a true story? Okay, tell us a little bit about as we're stopping. We'll maybe just give some commentary. Talk to us about what you know about Rolex Records and how Laylaw ended up starting that.
I met Laylaw in Macola, and he was just starting this label, Rolex Records. Didn't have a studio to record out of. He'd heard about Macola, wanted to start a label, and me and him hit it off immediately. He's one of them kind of dudes, man. If he like you, he like you. And he followed me to the pad. He followed me from Macola to the pad, man. And he just fell into the crew. He was just one of them kind of dudes. And he told me he was in the game a little bit. Him and his brothers was doing some things. And that was all good. As long as he didn't do it around my house, I didn't really care. And he just was a big old funny dude. His tagline was "It's casual." Okay, that was his tagline. And he just thought the world of Rolex, and he named his label Rolex Records. He had a couple of things he did out of the studio. Most of the stuff he did in the beginning was out of here. Then he moved over to Audio Achievements. And I'm a little concerned about the part where he said Dre was a pop locker. I ain't never known Dre to pop locker.
Let's get there. We're going to get there. Let's go ahead and continue right here. Boom.
Around that time, he met Lonzo Williams from the Wrecking Crew at Macola Records. Lonzo invited him to his home studio, where Laylaw ran into Dre again. This time, they clicked instantly. That's also where he met the other members of the Wrecking Crew, Yella, Clan Hell, and their young roadies, Ice Cube, Jinx, and KD, who had their own little group.
Roadies, is that safe to say?
Nah, hell no. That big Jinx would carry Craig from time to time, but the Cube ain't never carried nothing. I don't call Cube carry nothing. Jinx would hang out with Dre from time to time and carry a crate or two, maybe help out a little bit. KD ain't carrying nothing. If he did, it might have fell on him or something because he ain't that kind of cat. But you know, I keep hearing these things, and I like what he's doing. But for me, I'm a stickler for accuracy, because when you start telling these stories and nobody refutes the shit, it becomes concrete. It's like, you know, like a concrete. If you stop stirring concrete, it's gonna get hard. Now you can't fix it. You can't change it no more. And that's what happens to these stories when they get convoluted. People start taking them as being facts because ain't nobody said nothing. Well, Dre ain't gonna say nothing. Cube ain't gonna say nothing. Ain't nobody gonna say nothing but me. Y'all ain't gonna say nothing. So, and again, none of this stuff is really major. But as the stories start to get told more and more, they get bigger and bigger, and that's what I'm trying to refute. Go ahead.
And unfortunately, this video will get 80 to 1,000 views or 100,000 views. It'll be much bigger than this response video that we're having, but as long as we get the truth out there, that's what matters, right?
Yep.
All right, let's continue with this from Hip Hop Stories about Laylaw.
The Stereo Crew, as we covered before. Laylaw's first record, Monster Rappin', dropped in '85 and was produced by Dr. Dre and Lonzo.
When they say produced, does that mean you executive produced, or talk to us about your production on this Monster Rappin'?
Executive produced. I don't even think it
gotcha.
Probably was later than '85, man, because '85 we was at skate. We was still at we had just started doing Skateland. Anyway, I'm not gonna refute that too much because it's probably more like '86. But go ahead.
Okay. So you did produce his first single, Monster Rappin'.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
With Wolfen on the B-side. As Sir Jinx revealed on Instagram, he was the one who drew the single's cover. A year later, he dropped What's Your Name, an electro-funk cut produced by The Mechanic, Dr. Dre's other alias.
Did Dr. Dre have an alias, Mechanic, that you know of?
Yes, he did.
Okay, he did. Okay.
As Lonzo recalls, since then, Laylaw became a part of the everyday activities, hanging in the backstages during their shows. Him and Dre started throwing parties, and Dre even plugged in with Easy, who needed a supplier after reconverting into a street pharmacist, following the inheritance from his late cousin Horace, as covered in part 3 of the docuseries.
Is any of that true? The inheritance thing? Do you know anything about that?
The plug thing is not correct.
Okay, talk to us.
I ain't gonna say that because I don't want to incriminate myself, but I'm gonna leave it like that, okay? Because he wouldn't. I knew both of them, and nobody trusted nobody. And the only reason why people trusted anybody because they both knew me. You follow me? So it wasn't because of Dre. You know, I'm not taking credit for doing that right there, but I'm just saying that wasn't the reason. Again, I was the responsible one. Nobody else been in nobody else's house, but everybody came to my house. You follow me? And they met at my house. My house was like the clearinghouse for everything. I didn't tolerate no violence, no bullshit. And because of that level of respect, if anybody had a question about somebody else, they always put me kind of as the referee to make sure that everybody was going to be on the up and up.
The inheritance thing, over the years, I've heard theories that Ruthless was started with dope money. And I've also heard theories that Ruthless was started with this inheritance that Easy got.
It wasn't so much an inheritance. The brother died. Easy knew where the money was. That's not an inheritance. He didn't give it. He didn't will it to him. It was nobody else.
God damn.
Huh? Okay,
that's hilarious.
Okay. The brother, he met a untimely demise. Easy was his guy. He knew where his stash was. He wasn't gonna need it where he was going.
Oh man.
Inheritance. I mean, people can put words on things, and if you want to make it seem, nice and kosher, yes, it was an inheritance, but it wasn't so much inheritance. It was somebody got taken out, and it went through his pockets. And he, same thing. He knew where his stash was, and he put it to use. And it wasn't like he was, he tried to make it happen for a while, and he did, but for the most part, that wasn't what he wanted to do.
Gotcha. Okay. All right, let's continue. There's only about 30 seconds left.
Laylaw was still hustling. Music was just a hobby. The mid-'80s were the peak of the era. Money was fast and it was big. Around that time, Laylaw and Ice Cube grew close, like big brother and little brother, a bond that would last for decades. For context, Cube and Jinx were about 5 years younger than Dre, Easy, and Laylaw. Those ties expanded to when Dre left the Wrecking Crew and formed NWA with Easy, Cube, and Arabian Prince in late '86. By '88, after seeing Easy make real money with JJ Fad and NWA's albums, Laylaw started taking music seriously. Still, he wasn't sure of his lane until Ruthless signed Miss Chalet. He ended up writing nearly 80% of her debut album released in '89.
Is that true?
That's true.
Okay, talk to us about that.
Laylaw was a great writer. He was an excellent writer. He had a fantastic pen. I think of all the guys that were writers in our era, Laylaw, Cube, and DOC was like the top three. Yeah.
Really? Up there with DLC and Cube, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Laylaw wrote more R&B stuff though. He also wrote California Love, but he was an R&B writer. He wrote songs, not just raps. And that's what separated him from those two.
Okay. Now talk to us. I guess I didn't clip the part about Dre being a pop locker, so that was not true.
Oh man, I ain't never seen Dre. Dre barely did the Wrecking Crew steps. I ain't never seen him pop lock. Okay. He barely stayed on step with the Wrecking Crew. Nah, he wasn't that pop lock. And people always assume because you may be around hip hop early that you were a pop locker. Man, it called me a pop locker. And nothing wrong with pop locking. Nothing wrong. But I never was. I was always the one making things happen. I was not a pop locker. I was the one that made sure that we had platforms to get things done, whether it be a record label, a club, studio, concert, whatever. I was more of an executive, but I would also step on stage because that's where I like being.
All in all, you heard the whole thing yourself. What did you think? Anything else that stood out to you as being weird? I only clipped those parts where the last mention of World Class Wrecking Crew was.
I'm gonna give it if I had to give, I'd give it a B minus. It's not horrible. It's again, for me, I know the tidbits. You know what I'm saying? And the average person don't know the tidbits. And in fact, I had to say this. I'm gonna say this on this show right now. When I wrote my book, I had to apologize to Laylaw because the one section I had for him, I couldn't put in the book. I was already out of pages. At that time, Amazon only let you have like 315 pages. And I was already at damn near 400, and I had to cut a bunch of stuff out. And so Laylaw didn't make the cut. Laylaw didn't make the cut for Straight Outta Compton. But he told me, I don't give a damn. I got my check for California Love.
Which no one knew. Don't even think I technically knew this, that he is the one who officially produced California Love, but Dre's name got slapped on it after, as did a lot of production.
Yeah.
And we talked to Mike Klein, and he alluded to the fact that maybe they were doing that so Dre didn't have to give that money to Eazy-E back then. Do you think that could have been one of the reasons why his name was taken off a lot of stuff?
Dre's name, or what you mean?
Dre. Yeah. So wait, what do I mean? Actually, never mind. Scratch that. I had a brain. Yeah, scratch that. I got two different stories mixed up. Scratch that. But yes, California Love, Laylaw did produce that. I had no idea that happened.
Yep. He was an excellent producer. He was an excellent writer. In fact, one day I was riding down the street, never forget as long as I live. Laylaw was a big fan of Morris Day, just like I was. And I still am. And Morris had wrote a song that was Laylaw had wrote a song that was very similar to one of Morris Day's songs on this Color of Success album. Okay. And it was called Character. And we both liked the songs in my playlist right now. And I heard Character going down the street and I thought it was Laylaw's song. Because it was so much alike. Just a little tidbit, that's all. Shout
out to Laylaw, rest in peace, and thank you for your contribution to hip hop. Speaking of contributions and resting in peace, Lonzo, this week we lost a couple of people that I would love to hear your thoughts on. I saw you posted a picture with Gary Jellybean Johnson, who was part of Prince's band and one of the lead architects for the Minneapolis sound. What can you tell us about him?
I met Jellybean this year in June. One of the companies I work with, they did a concert with Morris Day, and everybody else left except for Jellybean. And we had a little after party in the one of the ballrooms, and Jellybean came over and kicked it with us in the ballroom. He's a tall dude. I didn't know he was that tall till I stood next to him, and he was super cool. And hey man, we get a shot. Hey man, no problem. And we didn't have a chance to really talk, but just sometimes you get a good vibe from people, man. And he was one of them dudes I got a good vibe from.
What can you tell us about how different Prince's sound was, and mainly because a lot of the musicians that he worked with? What can you tell us about the Minneapolis sound?
Minneapolis sound, man, was like nobody else, dude. It was, it all depended on which group you were listening to. They all had a similar feel. It was very simple in some cases. Like all the time stuff is very simple. Okay, the cool, I mean, cool, everything, 777. But the most difficult parts of most of their songs was the drums. Okay, when the opening for the walk is one of the most difficult open drum solos. According to drummers, it's very difficult to do. And Jellybean did it with ease. When his Prince's spinoff groups like Jesse Johnson, they all had a certain vibe. They used Linn drums in the studio, and they also used a lot of Oberheim stuff back then. And it all had that same feel. Prince's music was probably some of the most intricate and difficult stuff to produce and play, because he was so talented. I guess that's for no other word than that. I can't say lack of nothing for no other word. He put a lot more into his music, and he simplified Vanity 6. He simplified Morris Day and the Time, and even the stuff he did for Sheena Easton and some other artists was pretty straight ahead. And that was the sound. And think about this, man. That was the last sound we had. Artists of certain of the 80s, 70s, and 80s had their sound. Okay? They had their sound. Roger had a sound. Prince had a sound. Quincy Jones had a sound. Kashif had a sound. Motown had a sound. Philly had a sound. You could put on a Philly record and know it was a Philly record. You might not know the artist, but you know that Gamble and Huff did that song. You might not know, same thing with Down South. What was that label called? Dramatics was on them for a while. They were in the beginning. Damn, I can't think of it.
Talking about Cadillac?
No, not Cadillac Records.
Oh.
It was
Sunset, not Sunset. Let me think.
I can't think of it offhand right
keep
now.
Talking. I'll look it up. What did you say? Who owned it?
Stax.
Oh, Stax.
Stax Records.
Of course.
Had a sound. Isaac Hayes had a sound. Barry White had a sound. These artists specialize in utilizing certain instruments to have a branding sound. That's the word I'm looking for, a branding sound. They all had a branding sound. You don't hear nobody even attempting to do the same things that they did back in the 80s and early 90s. It's not going to happen. You had to be a true musician. Some of Michael's bass lines were very difficult to play. Roger and Zapp used electronics. They blended electronics with the vocoder with guitar riffs, the whole 9 yards. Dance move. They still dance their ass off right to this day. Barry White used cellos and oboes and all kind of other orchestra instruments to create his sound. Isaac Hayes had his own sound, had some of the instruments that Barry White had, but not all. But he used them in a different way. So, but again, you had a branding signature sound that gave everybody it was like having a team. Right now, there's no team. Even Dre got a sound. Quick has a sound.
Oh, you're right. Snoop. I mean, it falls into hip hop also. I'm thinking as you're talking, this also goes with hip hop. We haven't had an official sound in a long time because everybody just copies everybody now in hip hop.
Everybody just copies everybody else, and it has no branding to it. It's just, all right, I'm the guy for the next 2 weeks. I'm going to get my 2 weeks of fame. You ain't get fit. You get more than 15 minutes these days, but that's a fleeting 15 minutes. That's it.
You got to show your ass for that 15 minutes, or you will get forgotten tomorrow.
Mama, okay. Talk about your mama.
Yeah.
Bad. You might get some notoriety. Go ahead, Doc.
Can you tell us what can you tell us about Prince? Everyone knows Prince post Purple Rain, all the big hits, but do you know anything about his come up before he got big?
You know, I'm gonna tell you this story. I think I told you before. I'm gonna tell it to you again.
Yeah, you have a Prince story. I know that for sure.
Before Prince blew up, my buddies used to promote the skating rink called Flippers. Flippers was on Santa Monica Boulevard and La Cienega. It's the Rite Aid now. It might be something else by now. A Soul Flippers turned into a Rite Aid. It might be something else by now. I don't go that way very often. But on Sunday nights, they had Flipper skating rink. Again, Santa Monica Boulevard and La Cienega, the heart of West LA. Tuesday night, it was a Monday or a Tuesday night, Prince had a show in the skating rink. He was just nobody. I'd heard of him. I think I bought one of his albums. I think my girl had bought one of his albums, and we got some tickets to go see Prince at the skating rink on Santa Monica Boulevard and La Cienega. I'm emphasizing that for a reason. Prince comes out wearing his trench coat. He ain't got no money yet. He got his trench coat, leggings, long hair, light-skinned cat, no shirt on, G-string. The same shit he wore on one of my album covers. We on Santa Monica and La Cienega. Unfortunately, nobody was hardly there. It was a very light show. Nobody knew who Prince was. Prince had this guitar. You may have seen it in some of his shows where he's whacking his chicken, choking his chicken, and some fluid comes out of this guitar. We're on Santa Monica and La Cienega, and I'm in the front row damn near, and some of this fluid, this guitar jizz got on I'm mad. I want to whoop his little ass, okay? We on Santa Monica and La Cienega, and you got guitar jizz flying off the stage. This is not a good look for a brother from Compton. Not a good look. Look, curly head. What the fuck is wrong with you? What kind of bullshit? And I didn't like it. I didn't like him in front. Man, I don't like this. Come on, let's get out of here. Didn't like it at all. Again, we on Santa Monica and La Cienega. Okay, we in West LA. This is Jizz City, and we brothers from Compton don't jack off guitars. Okay, and damn sure don't want no guitar jizz on your clothes. True story.
Guitar jizz. I do remember that. What year was this, would you say? Did you say, or if 81, maybe 80, 81?
80. I had Eve After Dark. We was doing great. Probably about 81, 82 before he blew up. Okay. In fact, after that situation right there, I got his album Purple Rain in the record pool. I gave it away. I went and saw the movie. I had to go buy it again. I've been a Prince fan ever since. True story.
Kind of hard, right? It's real hard. That album is a masterpiece. That movie and that scene by Lake Minnetonka to this day, boy.
Come on. I saw Vanity in person.
Apollonia.
I saw Vanity after that at K-Day. She had a naturally sexy appeal. I was walking to K-Day, dropping off one of the traffic jams, and there was a limo right there in the front. And the window came down. She says, "Excuse me." And I looked, I said, "That's motherfucking Vanity." I said, "That's goddamn Vanity. Could you come here for a minute, please?" And I don't even know if I walked. I might have just floated over to the car, man. I said, "Can I help you?" She says, Yes, I'm waiting for someone. I was wondering if you could ask them how long they're going to be. Oh, okay. Man, and she was gorgeous in person, dude. For real. She wasn't but about 5 feet tall. But yeah. They came out and got her after that, man. It was, oh my God.
The audience wants to know what's your favorite Prince song. Mine is Diamonds and Pearls. That's my joint right there. What's yours, Lonzo?
You know what? It's not even one of his major hits. It's on one of his albums. It's called Private Joy. It's on one of his
Private Joy
and Head, of course. But yeah, Private Joy. It was a song I played with one of my girls, and that's what I used to call her. We both became Prince fans, and that was my nickname for her.
Love that. You know what? We're getting close to the halfway mark, so let me take this time to ask you guys to hit that like button if you have not already. And if you have any questions for the Godfather of West Coast Hip Hop, post them in the chat. I'll copy and paste them, and we'll get to them second half of the show. Once again, thank you so much to Tyree for that early donation earlier, $5.55. We really appreciate it. And if you're feeling a little generous, there's a $sign right there at the bottom of the chat. Hit that $sign, throw us a few bucks. It's really appreciated. Now, join me after the show at 6 p.m. on my channel. I'll put the link in the description for my interview with Scotty D and King Scratch, two West Coast OGs. They were in the game back in the day. We're going to talk about the Boys in the Hood song. We're going to talk about the NWA and the Posse album, some legit West Coast hip hop history. So join me after this show, 6 p.m. I'll post the link in the chat. Lonzo, a couple other things that I wanted to discuss with you, my man. It's been a busy week, man. What do I pick first? All right, let's jump into this one, man. I would love to know your thoughts on this here, Lonzo. So Mike Epps has got into a little trouble. I'm sure you've heard Mike Epps has gone viral this week. He had, for two things, I didn't even realize it was two things until today. The first thing was he made some comments about food stamps and black folks specifically. And his other issue was he made some comments about celebrating brothers who come home from prison and how he's not a fan of that. So I'm going to play both of let's start with the food stamps thing, Lonzo. I would love your thoughts on this. And he did come out and apologize as about 8 hours ago. So we're going to play his apology as well. And it is an apology if he offended anyone, but he pretty much has said the same shit. He's like, look, I said what I said. Maybe if you took it wrong, I apologize. But anyway, here's Mike Epps. And Mike Epps, this is what got him into the hot seat about food stamps this week.
This is not for us. So don't take this as personal about the food stamps and all that. I'm actually glad they cutting some of these niggas off food stamps because some of us need to not be on food stamps because it's a trickle-down effect. You get the food stamps, then you go buy the food that gives you cancer. Then you eat the food that gives you cancer. Then you're sad. You walk around here upset. Your diet's fucked up. Now I'm going to tell you some honest guy too. Your diet then sent a lot of niggas to prison.
So that's the first clip, Lonzo. I know you've heard the clip. I'm pretty sure you've heard the clip. Talk to me about your thoughts on Mike Epps and those comments.
You know what? I think he was being very, I'm gonna say responsible because when most of the foods you can buy with food stamps are in a lot of cases not the healthiest of stuff, man. It's not the healthiest of food. I mean, some burger stands take it. I know a lot of your small stores take it. When a lot of the small stores get their food from the bigger stores right before it expires. And I get what he's saying. I get what he's saying because it's a trickle down. It can be a trickle down effect. And if you're not eating properly, you're just eating bunch of ramen noodles, whatever the case be. That's just high in sodium. You got to if you go to 7-Eleven, that's all sugar, all salt, and tobacco. 7-Eleven sell three things. One of them you can't buy with food stamps. Of course, you can't buy tobacco with food stamps, but you can buy a lot of sugar, you can buy a lot of salt, and you wonder why you got diabetes and high blood pressure in the community the way we do. I understand what he's getting at from a health perspective. He didn't say you didn't deserve to eat. He just said from having food stamps, we tend to buy a lower grade of food. That's the interpretation on my end. Anything else it's not about cutting people off and people not starving or not eating. It's just that, when you got some money, you're gonna eat better.
Yeah.
$2, you're gonna eat better. You're gonna get the steak is supposed
The
to
organic, you might spend a little bit more for that organic banana. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do they take food stamps at Whole Foods? I don't think so. Do they?
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't think so. I don't know.
Yeah, I've never seen the EBT sign or anything outside of a Trader Joe's.
I ain't never seen one. They might, but they ain't told nobody. They ain't tell us.
Exactly. We didn't get the memo.
We didn't get the memo. So yeah, that's what he's getting at. And I think anything else is just purposely is hating on the brother.
All right, so here's his apology for this specifically. So what I'll do is I'll play the clip and I'll play the apology, then we'll jump into the prison thing. Here's Mike Epps' apology specifically on what we just discussed, and let's see what your thoughts are after this.
And about the food stamp thing, the food stamp thing was misunderstood too. What I was saying is that we need to break the cycle of being on food stamps. There's 3 generations of people that have been on food stamps. A grandmother, mother, and daughter, that's crazy. We gotta do better. We can't think that we need assistance. I know there's some people out there that need assistance. That's well, fine and understood, but there's people out there taking advantage of the system that's not good. So just want to apologize if I offended anybody. You know I love y'all, man, and keep on doing the right thing.
So now hearing that, Lonzo, what are your thoughts on what he really meant? He said he was trying to, he's tired. He wants to break the generational curse.
I get it, man. Here's a dude that was going to jail, snorting cocaine, doing movies, doing all kind of dumb shit, man. And when you stop doing certain things, you see things from a different perspective. And that's all he's saying, man. That's all he's saying. He wants better for us. Is it a problem for us to want people to want you to do better? Is that a problem? Is that really a problem for somebody who wants you to do better? Come on, man. Can't be.
No.
Can't be.
At this age, I don't see a problem with that whatsoever. Maybe
be.
In my 20s when I didn't understand the world, maybe yes.
Right. When you in your 40s, 50s, 60s, whatever the case may be, and you want to see your kids do better, and you put your foot down, not out of haterade, hey, man, you can't keep doing what you're doing because one day you might not be able to do it this way. You got to prepare yourself to do better. And that's all he's saying, man. You can't depend on these people. How you going to depend on folks? They just show you don't give a fuck. And they just showed you, hey, I cut this shit on like a light switch. Now what you going to do? Now what you going to do? The food switch has been turned off. How you going to eat? Talk to me. They're already, we already eating genetically modified organisms and pesticides. When you're paying for that as it is, now you can't even get that. You can't get a dose of pesticide poison. Come on, man. When your baby hungry, your baby crying. If your baby is crying and hungry, what won't you do to stop that hunger pain? Do you want somebody to have that responsibility to take care of your kids? You really want to do that? Depend on somebody else for everything? Come on, man. Self-sufficiency has always been best.
Very hard to break that cycle once you get into it.
It's a trap. It's a trap. It's like having a booger on your finger. God damn. There it is over there. There it is over here.
And you look down on your shirt, the shit's on your shirt. How the fuck did it get down there?
Booger on my finger. I got rid of that mother. Hey, you know, it's a booger on your finger. Go ahead.
Now, why do you think a certain sector of our community is complaining about this, Lonzo? Because it has to be black folk complaining about this. Why do you think it's a certain sector of our community that's complaining about this?
Some folks are afraid of change. Some people are afraid of responsibility. Some people figure if they can get some free food and a free place to live on somebody else's dime, they came up. In some mindsets, that's a life of luxury. I get free food. I've only paid $20 a month for rent, whatever the case may be. You ever heard the joke about the comedian? Comedian told this joke. He met this girl.
Break it down.
He liked her so much he paid her rent up for a year. Baby, I got you. Well, give me your rent. And he's doing it like that. Yeah, man. How much it cost you? $144. Huh? A rent $14 a month. I paid them for a rent. $12 a month. I paid them for a year. That's Section 8.
See, took me a minute. Me a minute.
Okay. So if the government decided they want to cut back Section 8, and I got a lot of partners who own property that they'll get screwed as well. You got people that own property and Section 8 pays their mortgage. And if Section 8 stop paying, that means the people that's living there may get evicted. If they get evicted, they're gonna be homeless. Meanwhile, somebody else has to come in and pick up that slack. And if not enough people in the community working to do that, everybody's gonna suffer. I'm not saying that's always the case, but it's a possibility. So that's all, man. That's all we're saying. Be self-sufficient, man. My daddy taught me that a long time ago. When I was renting equipment, man, stop renting equipment, go buy you some equipment. And that way you can rent it to somebody else. Oh, okay. Stop paying. When you rent it, you paying somebody else's note. And if it come up stolen, you got to buy them one, and you still ain't got one. You got to replace the one that you couldn't afford to buy for yourself, give it to them, and still don't own one. Come on, man. That don't make no sense. As soon as you're in a position to buy.
Yeah, facts, man. And I got to give a shout out to my mother because we were poor as fuck growing up. She could have easily jumped into the system, but I watched her get up every single day, early in the morning, get ready for work, not getting home till 6, 7 o'clock at night sometime, just working hard, barely being able to put any food on the table. But she never, ever, ever jumped into the system. And that's just something. And once again, if you need it, do your thing. I understand there are people who need it, but I respect people who prefer to get their money first.
The system is like that. It's like that donut in your trunk. It's just something to get you from point A to point B. It's not for you to go cross country on.
It's like that little donut. Exactly. Thank you. The little wheel on your tire.
It's supposed to get you to the tire shop. So you can buy you another tire and keep it around in case you need it again. But for the most part, you need to have 4 real tires on your car. That's all.
Yeah. Well, some game right there. Did you have something else?
When I was coming up, I'm gonna say this. People asked me why I was so responsible when I had when I was old enough to get a club at 22. Because when I was 18, I had a kid, and my old man wouldn't let her be on stamps. No, you ain't no. You got to go out and get you some damn money. I don't care what you got to do. Get your custom lines. He gave me the rules. You can use my lawnmowers for free, but you better not sell no dope. All right, I got 2 choices. I'm either gonna cut grass and cut lawns and trim trees like he was doing when he had a full-time job. When he wasn't doing his using his lawnmowers, I was using his lawnmowers or his truck to go hustle to make money. I know I just hustled like a man. I'll wear your ass out on some recycling back in the day. Shit, that was my hustle. I would do recycling with my dad. So yes, and I didn't have to go to that, man. We didn't have to do that. So yeah, but it taught me a sense of responsibility. That's all I was. That was my point.
Much respect. Let's get back to Mike Epps. Now, second thing he got a little slack for this past week was for some comments he made on prison and us celebrating relatives and friends who come home from prison. So I'll play the clip first. We'll talk about it. Then we'll play his apology for that.
Those are the wrong journeys to celebrate, young man. There's no reward for coming home after 30 years. You don't get no fucking care package. You're a failure. Get your ass out here and help these kids. Pay that back forward. You see what I'm saying? That's the reward. I got niggas all the time come straight home. If I don't do what they want me to do for them, I'm a sellout. I'm a suck ass. Right. I done did the whole bit with them. I done been to Walmart 100 times, Jay paying and meeting guards, doing all kinds of shit I ain't supposed to be doing, fucking with you. But as soon as you say no one time, they done forgot about the other 99 times you said yes.
Yes, that's
so. People are hating. Talk to me, man. Talk to me.
I ain't mad at it. You know what? I've always been confused because, man, I've done parties owning venues. I've done a lot of strange parties. I've done birthday parties for dead people. I'm trying to understand how you have a birthday party for a dead person. You could, come on, man. I don't ever want to be forgotten. You don't forget nobody. Have a full blown party. A full blown party. Okay. I'm like, huh? I said, what time the birthday boy get there? Oh, he died 5 years ago. Huh? And and it's the same thing with coming home jail parties. And I understand, hey man, sometimes cats get caught up. Sometimes cats get caught up. But sometimes the party is just a stop before he go back to jail. You know that he ain't reformed. He going back in 3 weeks, 3 months at the most. And like I said before, man, if somebody get caught up wrongfully or he went to jail for a good reason. I know that may sound crazy, but somebody with one of my kids, grandkids, y'all might even give me a farewell party. That's a good reason to come back home to a party. But you're out there doing dumb shit. But again, it all depends on how or who went to jail too. If he was a baldy when he went to jail, his people gonna look out for him. That's rightfully so. But it just seems like it's just celebrating the wrong thing. It just seems I'm giving parties for people who was going to jail. They were going to jail, so they gave him a big going away party. Where's he going? The war? No, he's going to jail. Huh? It is what it is, Doc. I tell you one that's really got me confused on one end, but I understand it on the other. Champagne parties. Champagne parties.
Is that where you just shake champagne and just waste a bunch of champagne?
That's the one before you go to the prom. That's we don't want to do it like this, bruh.
Oh, I got you. In the front yard with the whole dress up with the backdrop and all that. Gotcha.
Look.
I didn't know they were called champagne parties.
Can't nobody throw a champagne party like a single black mama. I don't know where these people find the money from, but man, dude, I done gave some parties that would rival the Met Gala. Okay, some champagne parties that would rival the Met Gala. And I was talking to a guy one time, and the guy he was a relative to the girl that was giving the party. And he said, man, you know what? I just realized something. I said, what's that, man? He said, this probably gonna be that child's biggest event her whole life. I don't see her getting married to nobody. He said, this is probably gonna be the biggest event she has in her whole life. And I thought about that, man. And after he said that, I started thinking about some of the other mindsets. This might be it for him or her. They're not going to probably ain't gonna go to college. Ain't no college party. Probably ain't gonna be no big wedding. This champagne party with the Rolls Royce and the Barbie doll and all the other stuff. And I ain't gonna talk about people's children, but Precious, it's real hard for Precious.
You said Precious. You cold, dog. You cold.
I don't see nobody jumping on the ring on Precious no time soon. But hey, you never know. Anyway, but I'm just saying, man, we shouldn't celebrate some strange and spend a lot of money for it. I mean, the candy bar, the candy bar, the food, candy bar. I mean, not the candy bars, the candy bar, a table full of various types of candy, the cupcake bar with cupcakes of various flavors. It may cost you $5-6 a piece. You got 3-4 dozen of them. One lady told me, I spent $10,000 for this party. Did you really? I didn't charge enough money. So yeah, Rolls Royce out front. Mr. Prom. That's it. That's it.
You know what? This is the one that kills me. No pun intended, as I'm about to say this, but I see this on Instagram all the time. I've seen it with my own eyes with people I know who are close in my life. But the souped up casket, Lonzo, the expensive ass casket with the airbrushing and the Yves Saint Laurent and the Mercedes Benz signs. I'm like, what are we doing?
Hey.
And there's literally businesses that cater to casket wrapping, Lonzo.
You know, I went to I went to my son-in-law funeral. His casket was wrapped. You know, and but that was it. If you know that dude, that was the way he would have wanted to go out. I understand. When I first saw it, I thought it was crazy. When I first saw it was a big old sign on Crenshaw. We wrap caskets. Oh, no shit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn. They put it right in the right place too. Ain't that crazy, man? They know who they're targeting. You ain't gonna see that in Irvine.
Nah. We do things different, Doc. And again, how you want to spend your money, that's your money. And I can't say that. It just I don't know.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to Mike Epps' apology for the prison comment that he made, and let's see what our thoughts are after that.
I think you guys might have misunderstood what I was saying. I might have said it the wrong way, but what I was trying to say is we don't want to send kids mixed messages about coming home from prison, being celebrated, feeling like you got to go to prison and do 30, 40 years to be celebrated. I think you guys misunderstood that, misunderstood what I said. Wasn't saying that it was wrong to be celebrated, but we don't want to send a message to the kids saying prison is great, that you want to go home, go do 30 years and come home. I don't think that's cool. So I'm sorry if anybody took it the wrong way and got offended. I love my brothers. I've been incarcerated myself. I understand what that is, but I might have said it the wrong way, but I mean well. And I love you, brothers.
Talk to me, Lonzo.
With the prison industrial complex being such a major industry in this country, the whole stigma for going to prison has been removed, especially from the Black community. And people, I've heard brothers talk about going to prison like they were playing on ball teams. Yeah, I did some time in Folsom. I was up there in Huntsville. I went down to I was down there with so and so in Susansville. I was over here. Man, I spent a little time up there in the shoe up, and I'm like, and they was talking. Yeah, man, they talk about it like it's a tour, and you got youngsters sitting there. This is like, oh yeah, okay, and it makes it seem like it's appealing, Doc. It makes it appealing, and it takes away the stigma of going. Because there's been times you went to jail, man, you don't tell nobody. If your family went to jail back in the day, you tell nobody. Oh, he down south for a little while. If a girl got pregnant, they sent her down south. She came back with her little sister or her little brother. Ask Janet Jackson. Anyway, so when you start taking, and here's what happens when you take shame out of a situation, the negativity tends to flourish, and the negativity tends to grow. And as it grows, there's going to be some consequences. When you take the negativity out of body shaming, it's not just about the body; it's about the internal organs of that body. You're talking about the diabetes and the heart and the heart health. Now you're not just talking about looks, and that's the part they want you to stop. They want you to stop with the looks. It's not about how bad what you look like. It's about, hey man, you know that doing what you do, looking like you look, not doing what you don't do, it can lead to a heart attack or a stroke, and that ain't no. They don't tell you about that. They don't talk about that. They talk about the physical part. The physical part. If you can't help the physical part, like I was watching the thing when you called me earlier, guy was talking about the five shows that would have been canceled today if they were on the air. Okay, Fred Sanford,
In Living Color.
In Living Color, and Handyman was the only one that I laughed at Handyman, but I agree with it.
Of course, right?
But you can't help that you are wrong for that, because that is something can't nobody help.
I'm laughing now in my head.
But because Damon Wayans was once handicapped, he felt he could do that. All right, and that
he had a gimp leg or something like that, right? A gimp foot or some sort of foot.
He had to wear that
club foot. There you go.
He had to wear that brace like Forrest Gump for a while. He was gumpish. So when he did it, because just like black folks call each other the N-word. I was one of them. But he made us all laugh. And some folks from in that situation may have laughed at it also because it was funny. But certain things, it you can get away with, and other things you're gonna get dogged out behind. No matter how funny it is. That's one of them.
Yeah, that was a great show, man. I mean, a lot of those, even those skits with the two, rainbow dudes, 2 snaps, a twist, and a kiss, that would not fly.
That shit was hilarious, though, man.
It was great. I was 13 years old, just laughing my butt off.
That shit was hilarious. But again, they took a chance and they won. And I think it's sad when you can't laugh at certain shit. I think it's sad when you can't laugh at yourself. You can't laugh with others. I just think it's sad, man. Because some of the funniest things are some of the things that are probably disgusting to one person. But again, that one person's feelings supersedes our sense of humor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I remember the time I was on the bus and this cat, he was doing something, and he laid a shark in his pants. Boy, the whole vibe, the whole face was laughing his ass. He was humiliated, but he sharted. Okay, he thought he had a fart, and it wasn't a fart. And he had on light colored pants, and it was not. It was hilarious, but he was humiliated. You shouldn't have trusted a fart. Anyway,
yeah. The older I get, the more I appreciate that advice right there, brother. Never trust a fart, homie. All right. Let's jump into Marlon Cozy. Had a question. Shout out to Marlon Cozy, a day one, man. Literally a day one. 8 years ago, he was rocking with us. To He says, yo, Unc, you tell us about Easy, Dre, and Cube. What was your relationship like with DJ Pooh?
Man, DJ Pooh used to come out of the house a long time ago when he was a youngster. I mean, a youngster. When he was Red in the movie, that's when he come out of the house. He was always quiet, a little goofy. He's a tall, slim dude, high yellow, goofy. I seen Pooh not long ago. We got love for each other. We just ain't running the same circles. He was one of them kids that was around here at that time. They all kind of jailed around the house back in the day. Like I said, back in the day, I ran like a boys club. It would be 11, 12, 13 people here at any given moment. And sometimes I wouldn't even be here. I would be gone doing what I got to do because I had a live-in roommate. She was cool with Dre and them. So everybody knew everybody, and I had to run. And nobody ever stole anything from me. That's one thing I can honestly say. Nobody ever stole anything. But yeah, Pooh was always one of the cooler brothers. He was, I think he went to one of them Catholic schools, if I ain't mistaken. I'm not sure. But he was another youngster that was around, but we didn't really hang out. We just, he was another cool kid that hung around the pad.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Someone in the audience brought something up, Lonzo. Did you see those new interviews that are popping up with NWA, where there's one from London, and then there's another one that's a Yo MTV Raps interview where they're talking about we're all in the same gang? I'm still trying to figure out if it's real or if it's AI. Have you run across those yet? If not, we'll talk about it next week.
No, I'll look for it, but I haven't seen them.
Okay, we'll talk about it next week. I'll put it together for next week's show. Yeah.
The documentary?
No, it's apparently it's some rare footage, some legit footage of an interview of them in London. One of them's in London, and then one of them's out here in LA. And the interviews that they cleaned up the audio, they cleaned up the images almost to where it looks like AI. So I'm not sure. So I was just curious if you knew anything about. Do you know anything about any NWA London interviews back in the day?
I can't say that.
Okay. All right. No. We'll talk about it next week because that's a good topic. Thank you, Bud Shack, for throwing that out there because we'll talk about that next week. All right. We got 5 minutes, Lonzo. Let's talk about another unfortunate, passing, but, he lived a decent life. 84 years old, Rap Brown passed away this past week, Lonzo. For anyone who doesn't know, he was best known for serving in the Black Panther Party as the Minister of Justice. for a short period of time. And he was an author. He had some very famous slogans. If America don't come around, we're going to burn it down. Some other slogans: violence is as American as cherry pie. He was served life in 2000 for taking out a officer in Georgia. What do you know about H-Rap Brown, Lonzo, his history? I know the name. I don't know much about him. And tell us about a young Lonzo and what made the Panther Party so appealing to a young you.
You had Huey P. Newton. You had H-Rap Brown. You had the other brother with the dimples that got killed, Fred Hampton. These guys wasn't much older than me, man. They weren't a lot older than me. They may have been, I don't know, 6, 7 years older than me. Or when they were doing their thing, they were in their teens, put it that way. These guys were teenagers. They were feeding people. They had a breakfast program in Oakland, and they were organized. Most of them were in college. And again, when you are, I don't know, 12, 10, 11, 12, and you see some kids 19 doing stuff, whether smoking cigarettes or wearing black leather jackets with braids on your head, it could be appealing to you. And you heard about them on the news, and it was like anything else, man. When you have your eyes and ears are the portals to your influence. And whether it's the Black Panthers, whether it's gangster rap or whole rap, it's infectious. And you are very impressionable at those ages. And I was impressionable, dude. To see these guys with the black leather jackets, the big old naturals, they was marching. And some of them lived on my street. Not in the main ones, but they would march down my street. They had a group of folks from my neighborhood were part of the Black Panthers. And that was the coolest thing to do at that time in the 60s and early 70s, was for young black folks to be a Panther. And that was the attraction to it, dude. Just like some folks think it's cool to go be a gangbanger. Some people think it's cool to go to the prison. It was the same effect on a young Lonzo. But young Lonzo had a mama and a dad that would have kicked off in his ass if he'd have grabbed a black desert, anything and put on his head. Don't mean I still didn't support it. I just knew I couldn't join and tell nobody. They was with the Black Panthers, man. It was going down with them folks, dude. I remember when they that was the Black Panther. That was Sin Q when they had the big shootout in the 70s on 50 something and they had a sporting goods store there with Patty Hearst Patty Hearst. She had got supposedly kidnapped and had what you call that, Stockholm syndrome. She started started siding with her captors, and they shot the hell out of that damn sporting goods store though. 154 for something in L.A. and it was a police against them, and them dudes talking about don't give a F. Shit, they didn't give a F. They had none to give. Okay, police, they jump on the police like was nobody's business. The cops were scared of them. That's real.
Yeah, that Patty Hearst story is crazy.
That's real talk.
Man.
It don't get
yeah. Well, that hour passed by, Lonzo. Before we go, I want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. You as well, Lonzo. We are very thankful for you all joining us every single week, telling a friend. We really appreciate this. I know I love this. I can do this for another 8 years. Hopefully Lonzo feels the same way. You know, I think this is great for hip hop. This is my contribution to hip hop, being able to interview and talk to Lonzo Williams every day and document this stuff. So it's solidified in history. When him and I are no longer here, the truth will be out. So I'm just very thankful. Pleasure to be on this show, Lonzo. I love you, man. I love the chat. And I appreciate all of you. And before that, please join me on my channel. As soon as this is over, Scotty D and King Scratch will be joining me. We'll be talking about Boys in the Hood. We'll be talking about NWA and the Posse album. It's going to go down right now as soon as this show's over. So join me. Any last words, Lonzo?
You know what, man? I'm going to say something before I roll up out of here. But for the first time in my life, brothers tell brothers they love them. Okay? As my son would say, no homo. It just love you, man.
Pause.
Yeah.
Love you, man. We got to say it as we get older.
You know, and I hear more and more. And if more brothers said, I love you, man, as opposed to fuck you, man, we'd be a lot better off. All right?
Facts.
That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at.
There it is, brother. You got that outro for us, Lonzo?
For those who never heard of me, I'm the first one to put Dr. Dre in the surgery, stuck Ice Cube in the freezer till he got cold on the eve after dark, 50-yard line at the Super Bowl. In the movie Straight Outta Compton, they played me like a hater of rap. Don't believe in Hollywood bullshit because it was all cap. My history goes deeper than you will ever know. Just remember that NWA stands for Not Without Alonzo, y'all. We are out of here. Y'all have a good one. And I'll enjoy your turkey. I'm going to enjoy mine.
Welcome to NWA Story with Lonzo, the godfather of the West Coast. Now you know, with Dusty Vision on the side, we ride, taking you back to where legends came alive. From ruthless roots to the studio scene, classic tales that the world's never seen. Every Tuesday night we spark the heat, from 6 to 7, history on repeat. So sit back, tap in, and enjoy the vibe. If you love hip hop, like and subscribe.